All right, so a couple of people have written me in an email asking me this one question, and the question is, "Am I a humanist?" And I would say that I am not a humanist. I would say that my religious belief is that of a Christian, and I don't know that I make any apologies for that at all. And that comes up because I keep talking about this idea of what it is that humans need, humans want, and what I believe is that when people are allowed to be whole without artificial obstacles, without our institutions trying to diminish them to make them comply, I think that is when we get the best that. That is the plan and the purpose of our lives. And I think that's when we can live out the purpose of our lives. And so having said that, it becomes important to realize that there are three things kind of at play, particularly when we talk about human involvement and development. There is the truth, there are the facts, and then there is a space in between those called belief. And so all too often, people have equated the facts with the truth as if they are synonymous with one another, as if they are the same. I just recently I recall a conversation between Bill Nye, the science guy, and I think he's a great guy, and a creationist, and they were debating, was the universe a result of the Big Bang, or is the universe a result of creation, of organized thought process, particularly designed by God. And so when I think about that, it's undeniable that there are fossils and dinosaur bones and bones of either early humans or primates or whatever. But those things are undeniable. So those are the facts, right? And there is obviously a number of ways that we can even look at Darwinism as having some facts associated with it, right? So Darwinism certainly is an explanation for some of these bones that we've found, and so these become the facts that people usually try to tie to the truth. And I would like to submit that the truth and facts are not related at all. That there's not an actual correlation between facts and truth. Because one of the things that I recognized that when I was in sixth grade, there was a teacher that I loved and adored. Her name was Mrs. Young. And Mrs. Young asked us a question one day. And she said, "How many planets are there in the solar system?" And in 1982, my answer was 9. If we ask a young person today that very same question, we'll get a different number. And typically the number is 8. And it's typically 8 because the facts and the truth have changed. And so so now there are 8 planets because Pluto was deemed by human beings not the same status or the same category as what we call Earth and our brother and sister planets, right? So humans determined that truth was different because they also changed the facts, and so I believe that there's no correlation between the facts and the truth, or there doesn't have to be a correlation between the facts and the truth for those things to be propagated. Here's another example. I'll show up here a map of Africa. So you'll see a map of Africa that I have been taught as the truth, given the facts. Now I'll also show a second map of Africa that is actually how it actually shows the typography and the size of Africa. Now, one, they both were facts and they both were truth, but there's this thing that's in between them called belief. And so, all too often, what we don't understand is sometimes it doesn't matter what the truth is, and sometimes it doesn't matter what the facts is. It matters what it is that we believe. And so, as a person who believes in our completeness, in the importance of being whole, whether I'm a humanist or whether I'm a Christian becomes irrelevant if you believe me. And so one of many of the things that I talk about require a level of belief. We talk about, the number of folks in prison versus the number of folks in college, and we talk about African Americans being, students being tested at the third grade to determine the demographics that should be considered when building prisons. When we talk about public law enforcement agencies saying things like we need to fill the beds in our jails and prisons because if we don't, we won't have jobs. Those things may be facts, they may be the truth, but ultimately, what is it that you believe? Because it is our beliefs that actually motivate us to change and to do things, to drive, to augment our behavior and become conscious of what it is that we want to do with our lives. And so facts are important. The truth is important. But what is most important is what is it that you believe? And primarily, what is it that you believe about yourself, and what do you believe about other people? Because that is what drives our behavior. That's what will fuel our lives, is based on our belief. And I challenge you to think about what is it that you believe and why.